Talk Rosa. Speak with power.
Grow your English every hour.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Talk Rosa. I'm your host, Rosa.
And I'm James. Welcome to our Easy English podcast for beginners.
How are you doing today, James? You look very awake and happy this morning.
I am. I had a great cup of coffee, so I have a lot of energy. How are you?
I'm doing really well, thank you. I'm excited about today's topic.
Me too. It is a topic we talk about every single day in real life.
Exactly. Today we are talking about morning routines and daily habits.
This is so important for English learners. People love talking about mornings.
Yes, it is the perfect topic for small talk at work, at school, or with new friends.
Everyone has a morning routine. Some are fast and some are very slow.
Before we begin, if you are enjoying our podcast, please like this video.
Yes, and make sure to subscribe to Talk Rosa so you never miss an English lesson.
Let's start with the very first thing we do, waking up.
Waking up. That is definitely the hardest part of the day for me.
Really? I usually wake up at 6. I love the quiet morning time.
6? Oh, wow. I am definitely not a morning person.
A lot of people aren't. When you say, I am not a morning person, what does that mean?
It means I don't like mornings. I feel tired and I don't want to talk to anyone yet.
That is a very natural phrase for our listeners to use. I'm not a morning person.
Yes, I use it all the time. I usually wake up at 7:30.
That isn't too late. Do you wake up feeling refreshed?
Not at all. I hear my alarm and I hit the snooze button immediately.
The snooze button. That gives you 5 or 10 more minutes of sleep, right?
Exactly. I usually hit the snooze button 3 times before I get up.
3 times? That is a dangerous game, James. You might be late for work.
I know. But my bed is just too warm and comfortable.
For me, I never use the snooze button. When the alarm rings, I get up early.
You are so lucky. I wish I could wake up easily like that.
It takes a little practice, but I always wake up late on weekends to rest.
Same here. Weekends are for sleeping. I sleep until 10 on Saturdays.
That sounds wonderful. So after you finally wake up, what do you do first?
Well, the very first thing I do is check my phone.
Oh, that is very common. What do you look at on your phone so early?
I check my messages and I read the news for a few minutes.
That is a gentle way to slowly wake your brain up.
Yes, exactly. Do you check your phone first, Rosa?
No, I try to avoid my screen. First, I drink a glass of water.
That is so healthy. I should probably start doing that too.
It really helps wake me up. Then I go to the bathroom and wash my face.
I wash my face with cold water. It is a big shock, but it works.
Yes, cold water is great for mornings. Next, I brush my teeth.
Of course, brushing your teeth is super important. I do that next too.
After that, I always make my bed. It makes my bedroom look clean and nice.
Make your bed? Oh, I skipped that part. I'm usually in a big rush.
You should try it, James. It only takes 1 minute to do.
Maybe I will try it tomorrow. So what is next in your morning habits?
I take a shower. A warm shower really helps me feel ready for the day.
I like taking a shower in the morning too. I wash my hair and wake up fully.
After my shower, I get dressed. I usually pick my clothes the night before.
That is so smart. I spend 10 minutes looking for my socks every morning.
That is why you are always rushing. Planning ahead saves so much time.
You are right. So after you get dressed, is it finally time for breakfast?
Yes, breakfast is my absolute favorite part of the morning.
Same here. Let's talk about breakfast. It is a huge part of any morning routine.
What is a simple phrase we can use to talk about breakfast in English?
You can say, I usually have eggs for breakfast.
Perfect. Or you can ask someone, what do you usually eat for breakfast?
That is a great question for small talk. So, Rosa, what do you usually eat?
I love pancakes, but I don't have time on weekdays, so I make toast.
Just plain toast, or do you put something sweet on it?
I like butter and strawberry jam. It is fast and very delicious.
That sounds great. For me, I eat something quick before work.
Like what? Do you buy breakfast on your way to the office?
Sometimes I buy a sandwich, but usually I just eat an apple or a banana.
That is very light. Aren't you hungry later in the morning?
I am, but I skip breakfast sometimes when I wake up too late.
That makes sense. I skip breakfast means you don't eat it at all.
Exactly. But there's one thing I never ever skip. Coffee.
Ah, coffee. The most important morning habit for so many people.
Yes, I drink coffee every morning. I make coffee right after I brush my teeth.
Do you drink it black or do you add milk and sugar to it?
Just a little bit of milk, no sugar. How about you? Do you drink coffee?
I actually prefer tea. I drink a hot cup of green tea with my toast.
Green tea's very relaxing. I think it is much healthier than my strong coffee.
They're both good. The phrase, I make coffee, is very useful to know.
Yes, or you can say, I put the kettle on if you are making tea.
Good point. Let's review some useful breakfast phrases for our listeners.
You can say, I usually have, and add your food, like I usually have oatmeal.
Or simply, I drink coffee every morning. It is very natural and polite.
What about pets? People often take care of their pets in the morning too.
Oh yes, I completely forgot. I feed my cat right before I eat my own breakfast.
Feed my cat or I walk my dog are excellent phrases to practice.
Animals have strong morning routines too. My cat meows until I feed him.
They're louder than alarm clocks sometimes.
So true. Okay, so we woke up, got ready, and had a nice breakfast. What is next?
Now it is time to talk about work or school preparation.
Leaving the house. This can be a very busy and stressful part of the morning.
Oh, definitely. Before I walk out the door, I prepare my bag.
What do you put in your bag? Do you take your laptop?
Yes, my laptop, my notebook, and my keys. I check my pockets twice.
That is a good habit. I also prepare my bag and then I check my emails.
You check your emails before you even leave home?
Just quickly, to make sure there are no important emergencies at work.
I see. What time do you usually leave the house to travel to work?
I leave home at 7:30. The traffic is not too bad at that early hour.
I leave home at is a great sentence structure to remember for conversations.
Yes, it is very clear. And how do you travel to work, James?
I drive to work. It takes me about 45 minutes on the highway.
That is a long drive. Do you listen to music in the car to pass the time?
Yes, I listen to music or I listen to a podcast, just like this one.
Driving or walking is the perfect time to practice listening to English.
Exactly. How about you, Rosa? Do you drive your car to work too?
No, I don't have a car right now. I take the bus to the city.
I take the bus is another very common phrase. Is it a long bus trip?
It takes about 30 minutes. I read the news while I ride the bus.
That sounds very peaceful. I wish I could read while driving.
Please don't do that. You need to focus on the road.
Don't worry, I will. So what time do you actually start your job?
I start work at 8:30. I walk into the office and say good morning to everyone.
That is so important. Saying good morning is a big part of working with others.
Yes, it is the best way to start a small, friendly conversation.
You can ask your coworkers, how was your morning today?
Or, did you have a good breakfast? It is a great way to make friends.
If you are a university student, you might say, I study before class.
That is a great example. Some students go to the library early in the morning.
I was never that kind of student. I always arrived exactly when class started.
I'm not surprised, James, especially because of your funny snooze button habit.
You know me too well, Rosa. I love my sleep too much.
So let's look at what we've covered so far. We have so many good phrases today.
We talked about waking up and using phrases like, I get up early.
We talked about bathroom habits like I brush my teeth and I wash my face.
We discussed breakfast, using nice phrases like, I usually have eggs.
And we just talked about going to work. I take the bus or I drive to work.
These are all simple, everyday sentences that native English speakers use constantly.
Exactly. You don't need complicated grammar to describe your morning.
You just need these easy phrases. You should practice saying them out loud.
It really helps to describe your own routine in English while you are actually doing it.
Yes, when you are brushing your teeth tomorrow, think to yourself, I am brushing my teeth.
That is a wonderful tip for our beginners. It builds English directly into your daily life.
This has been a great start, but there is still so much more to talk about.
Let's talk about how to keep a morning conversation going with a friend or a coworker.
That is so important. Sometimes you ask a question and then there's just silence.
Exactly. To avoid that, you need to use follow-up questions.
Like asking for more details? For example, what time do you wake up?
Yes, and if they say 6 o'clock, you can ask, are you a morning person?
Oh, that is a great natural follow-up. It keeps the chat moving forward.
Another good one is, do you exercise in the morning?
I like asking about food. What do you usually eat for breakfast is my favorite.
Because you love food, James, but it really is a great question to ask.
People love talking about what they eat. You can also ask, do you drink coffee?
And remember to use natural reactions when they answer you.
Reactions are so important. If someone says they wake up at 5, I say, oh wow.
Yes. Oh, wow shows you are listening and interested in what they are saying.
If they have the same habit as me, I like to say, same here.
Same here is a fantastic phrase to build connection.
What if they tell you something unusual, like they eat cold pizza for breakfast?
Then you can say, really? Or, that's interesting.
That's interesting is a very polite way to react to strange habits.
Exactly. Short reactions like nice or really make your English sound so natural.
It makes the other person feel heard. It feels like a real conversation.
Speaking of habits, let's talk about healthy morning routines.
Oh, healthy habits. I know I should have more of these in my life.
It is never too late to start. A great phrase is, I stretch every morning.
Stretching feels great after sleeping. Do you do yoga, Rosa?
Yes, I do a little bit of yoga. It wakes up my muscles gently.
Some people like to go outside. They say, I go for a walk.
Walking in the fresh morning air is a wonderful healthy habit.
My neighbor always runs past my window at 6 in the morning.
Wow, she is very dedicated. You can say, I exercise before work.
I am trying to build better habits. I often say, I'm trying to wake up earlier.
That is a perfect sentence for beginners. I'm trying to shows you are making an effort.
Exactly. I want healthier habits is another great way to express your goals.
Another calm habit is meditation. You can say, I meditate for 5 minutes.
Does meditating actually help you start the day better?
Yes, it reduces stress. It helps you focus before a busy day at work.
Maybe I should replace my snooze button habit with a short meditation.
I think that is a fantastic idea, James.
I will try it tomorrow. I will wake up, not hit snooze, and just breathe.
I am proud of you for trying. Healthy mornings make for happy days.
It is true. A good morning usually means a good afternoon, too.
Sometimes, even with good questions, the conversation slows down.
Yes, and then you get that awkward silence. I hate awkward silence.
To avoid awkward silence, native speakers use transition words.
Transition words? You mean like changing the topic smoothly?
Exactly. A very common one is, by the way.
Ah, by the way, did you try that new coffee shop? That works perfectly.
Another great phrase is, speaking of mornings.
Yes, speaking of mornings, I had a crazy morning today.
Or you can simply say, so, or actually, to start a new thought.
That reminds me is also great when their story makes you think of something.
Speaking of crazy mornings, James, didn't you have a funny disaster last week?
Oh no, are we really going to talk about my terrible Tuesday?
Laughs. Yes, we are. It is a great story for our listeners to learn from.
Okay, fine. So last Tuesday, my phone completely died during the night.
And your phone is your alarm clock, right?
Exactly. So my alarm didn't ring. I accidentally slept through my alarm.
Oh, wow. That is the worst feeling. What time did you finally wake up?
I woke up at 8:15. My meeting at work was starting at 8:30.
Oh my goodness. What did you do? You must have panicked.
I jumped out of bed so fast. I didn't wash my face. I barely brushed my teeth.
Did you even get dressed properly?
I grabbed the first clothes I saw. I actually put on 2 different colored socks.
Laughs. Oh no, one black sock and one blue sock?
Worse, 1 black sock and 1 bright red sock, but I didn't notice yet.
You were just rushing out the door. Did you skip breakfast?
I totally skipped breakfast, but I desperately needed my coffee.
Please don't tell me you tried to make coffee while running late.
I did. I quickly poured some hot water, grabbed my mug, and put a big spoonful of white powder in it.
Wait, white powder? Sugar?
I thought it was sugar. I took a huge drink while running to my car.
Let me guess. It wasn't sugar.
It was salt. I put a huge spoonful of salt in my coffee by mistake.
That sounds absolutely disgusting, James.
It was horrible. I spit it out in the sink and just ran to my car.
Did you make it to work on time for your big meeting?
I ran into the meeting room at 8:29, exactly 1 minute before it started.
Wow, that is a miracle. Did anyone notice your socks?
Yes, my boss looked down at my red sock and my black sock and just smiled.
That is hilarious. A perfect example of why a calm morning routine is important.
Lesson learned. I always charge my phone now. I never want salty coffee again.
That story was amazing. Now, let's do a short, realistic role play for our learners.
Great idea. We will act like 2 friends chatting at the office in the morning.
Listeners, pay attention to the natural phrases and reactions we use. Ready, James?
Ready. Let's start the role play.
Hey, James. Good morning. How are you doing today?
Morning, Rosa. I'm doing well, thanks. How about you? You look tired.
I am a little tired. I am not a morning person at all today.
Really? What time did you wake up this morning?
I woke up at 5. I'm trying to wake up earlier to exercise before work.
Oh, wow. 5 o'clock is so early. Did you actually exercise?
Yes, I went for a walk, but now I am so sleepy.
That's impressive, though. You just need some caffeine. Do you drink coffee?
I usually do, but I skipped breakfast today. I didn't have time to make it.
Same here. I was rushing today. What do you usually eat for breakfast?
I usually have toast and a huge cup of coffee.
Speaking of coffee, there is fresh coffee in the break room right now.
That's exactly what I need. Thank you for telling me. Let's go get some.
Sounds good to me. Let's go.
And scene. That was a perfect little morning office chat.
It was very natural. We asked questions, used reactions, and kept it flowing.
Now it is time for a quick recap of the most important phrases we learned today.
Yes, let's remind our listeners of the key phrases they should practice.
First, talking about waking up, you can say, I usually wake up at.
And if you don't like mornings, just say, I'm not a morning person.
For your daily habits, use simple phrases like, I brush my teeth.
Or I wash my face and I get dressed.
When talking about food, a great phrase is, I drink coffee every morning.
To talk about leaving for your job or school, say, I leave home at.
Or you can explain how you travel by saying, I drive to work or I take the bus.
Don't forget the great questions to ask others, like, what time do you wake up?
And to keep the conversation going, ask, what do you usually eat for breakfast?
Also, remember to use fun reactions like, oh wow, or same here.
These simple phrases will make your English conversations feel so much more natural.
You don't need complex vocabulary, just use these easy sentences confidently.
Exactly. Practice them out loud in front of a mirror or with a friend.
Well, I think we covered everything about morning routines today, Rosa.
We certainly did, from waking up early to accidentally drinking salty coffee.
Hey, please don't remind everyone about my terrible mistake.
I had to mention it one last time. It was too funny.
Thank you to everyone for listening to our podcast today.
Yes, thank you for joining Talk Rosa. We love helping you learn English.
Now, we have a small homework task for you, our wonderful listeners.
We want to hear from you. Please write 3 sentences about your morning routine in the comments.
Or, if you want a challenge, write a short morning conversation between 2 people.
We will read your comments and reply to as many as we can.
Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with a friend.
Every like helps us create more easy English podcasts for you.
We will see you in the next episode. Have a fantastic day.
Remember, keep practicing and stay confident. Bye, everyone.
Goodbye, friends. See you next time.